It's like Marino's locker lane. We keep that empty.
Oh, okay. There you go. Glass encase it. All right. Questions, please. Anybody besides David?
Exactly. It was him.
Hey, we're supposed to be a team here.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. You talk about the health situation, where you stand now, and do you expect most of these guys to be able to go Sunday? Or?
Yeah, I do. I don't think anybody's really in threat of missing Sunday. So, Drayvon's feeling better. Michael's getting better. So.
Will they be here today, or is it still virtual?
Last night we met with them. I have not, I don't have an update right now as far as the meetings and so forth.
Dan talked about last week about the energy level after the game because so many guys think you worry about their conditioning energy level if they do go.
I'm not sure. Worried about whose energy level?
Trayvon and Michael.
Oh yeah, I mean that's something. The good thing is the other guys have been getting the reps. So this has been excellent work for our young guys. So, both Calvin and Nashawn. So I mean, yeah, we'll do we'll do whatever we have to do.
The other day you said that they had a bad practice and you called them out and Dak said responded with a good practice just so they can. Was there a reason for the bad practice and was it a focus or just? What was it, and how do you like the way they responded?
Well, I think it's football. I thought their energy was tremendous. That's what you're looking for coming off of a couple days break. So, it wasn't part of lack of energy. It was just the details just weren't there. So, and there was just too much of it. And I think like anything, you win a couple games. You get into a routine, regularity, which is important. But nothing's guaranteed the next week. So, and I thought they responded very well yesterday.
Mike Jory of Yahoo Sports. Dak also mentioned that your rehash of that practice was his favorite of the year because of the accountability. Can you tell us a little bit about what that message was and why it was important to do it then?
I really don't recall, but
he said it was his favorite breakdown of the year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, maybe I need to do more often. So.
Was some colorful curse words there or what?
Well, that's the beauty of being Catholic. Yeah, I had to go to church yesterday. Just doing my job.
How did you feel the team responded after that? I mean, I know you talked about the energy in practice, but even just.
I mean, I'm not just saying this, but this is a very accountable football team. I mean, just we have a special locker room. Now what we do with it is the most important part. I get that, but I love the competitiveness. And that's why I go back to the energy. I mean, it wasn't because of lack of energy. I mean, they were flying all over the place Wednesday. So, if anything, maybe a little bit too much, because, we were just in shells. So, it was just more about the details. They respond, and, I think we're very, very honest and direct with each other, and I think that's important. That's always been my approach to everything. So, I just looked at it as another day of just, us all being accountable to one another.
I don't mean to jump in. I'm going to jump ahead of Todd here. I just want to piggyback on this.
I thought you were Bogart and David. I kind of liked it. But
Just to stay on the subject for a minute, CD talked about it, Dak talked about this team being more accountable than in the past. And even last year, they really liked the team last year, but CD talked about the chemistry, and this team is more accountable. And Dak talked about them calling each other out when they make mistakes and different things like that, even more so this year than even last year.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, and I know it's a blatant statement when you say it, culture, locker room, but, I think the maturity and the growth of the leadership is there. I mean, this is I look at the, the leadership council that we have. I mean, it's, to have 11 players in there that you feel that strongly about is really good. I mean, it's the most that I've ever had on a leadership council. So, but then you see the CeeDee Lambs, you see these young guys stuff. So leadership's just not for the older guys, and I make that clear from day one. Every guy in there has a chance to lead. I mean, if you're a young guy, you should definitely try to lead by example. Be the first guy in line. Be the first guy there in the morning. Be the guy that the strength conditioning staff's always saying that a boy and all those things. So leadership opportunities come in so many different forms and fashions, and I think you're seeing our younger guys really doing it. I mean, and I know Dak and I've talked about this draft class this year, and we've had, this is our third one, but this draft class is very, very mature. I mean, as far as their approach and the way they've bought in, and not only their buy-in, but look at the contributions we've had from our rookie class, and that speaks to everybody. That speaks to the leadership in the locker room, speaks to the coaching staff, it obviously speaks to the player acquisition part of it. So that's what we're about. That's what we're promoting, and at the end of the day, it gives us the opportunity to be the best version of ourselves every time we line up.
Is it okay if I ask about something else? Mike Todd, Archer, ESPN.
That's a good teammate right there.
Yeah.
See that,
I'm
David?
trying to get on the leadership council. Roster spot opening, do you anticipate filling that this week or just do elevations? How do you
To be honest with you, that we'll take that all the way to Saturday if we do anything. So, we want to watch James practice, and so we're looking at the options.
And with Tyron, do you anticipate next week for his window? You think that?
Hopeful. That'll really comes from, the workouts with Britt and just return to play threshold that I know he's very close to getting over.
And whenever you guys start that window, has he played enough where he could realistically come back in 1 week and play, or do you want to get him?
Yeah, you just got to see it. I mean, and he needs to see it and feel it, and he's in the meetings. He's on top of everything we're doing, so it's not like he's been rehabbing somewhere else. I mean, he's been here every single day. So, but yeah, I think it's just like the last hurdle is always to get out there and practice. So, until we get there, I can't really give you a good answer.
Clarence,
I'm good.
you good?
Oh.
Then Babe.
Babe Loffenberg, Cowboys Radio. Baseball, obviously, 162 games. They talk about the dog days of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Have you found in an NFL schedule there's dog days for NFL players as well that you have to kind of?
Not anymore. You know better than anybody. Yeah, I've done this too long to put it in that category. I do remember the dog days of the 90s. I mean, that was a whole different, approach and training and so forth. I think the biggest thing is the grind that you find more and more today is more the emotional and the mental grind. How long the season is, the training camp. I think you have the toolbox and the education and the resources to be smarter, physically, and I think some people have really gone totally the other way. That I don't ever see myself totally going that way, but yeah, I think that type of focus is more in the emotional and mental realm. I think physically, with the limitations that the league has put in, which makes sense, number of padded practice and all those things, I think there definitely are some benefits to it.
Matt Sham, Cowboys Radio. McCormick had to play some really meaningful snaps when Curse came out the other day. Could you just speak a little bit to McCormick's development? What's he doing that you like?
Yeah, definitely. Israel's, clearly is probably one of or the most improved player from last year to this year. I mean, you could see that in the off-season program. just the work that he did in the strength conditioning. My memories of his are, seeing him come in with everybody else to go in the morning, and then you walk down the hall to the personnel department at 3 o'clock, and he's back out there doing it again. So, he basically went to 2 days totally voluntary on his own. So, but just to see him put the extra time in, the success that he had in the off-season program, the confidence was really what he needed, and he's done an excellent job. I mean, there's some things that he was asked to do on special teams that he did not do the first year, and he's responded. You look at him on punt protection, and he's been a good matchup player for us from a coverage component. So I really like the step that he's taken this year.
Skyler.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio. Do you expect Terrence Steele back today?
I hope so. He's dealing with a personal situation. He's where he should be right now. So, just really our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family.
This is Connor Dixon with the AP. I didn't want to interrupt Todd, but I wanted to go back to what these two brought up on the accountability and the way Dak and CD are talking to us about those sorts of things. I just wondered, is that playoff loss from last year kind of feeding this a little bit when focus slips or things like that those guys are kind of saying, hey, we got to stay on top of this. We don't want to go back to where we were at the end of last year.
I mean, definitely, and I would hope so. I think every experience that you have, I mean, we all recall what it felt like in that locker room afterwards. I mean, it doesn't ever leave you. I mean, I can go back to the '93 AFC Championship game. I mean, those moments and experiences, they're part of who you are, personally and professionally. And that was our experience, as far as the number of people that are still here from last year. So that's probably even more personal than things that happened 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think that's all part of this incredible journey that you have to go on to get to where you want to go in this league, and that's why every year is so exciting, every week's so exciting. But yeah, that's real emotion. That's a great reminder. It's a good button to push, to engage the focus. So yeah, I would definitely think that, that experience that we had is something we can draw from.
David.
Mike, Monday with Odell coming in, I know the main thing's the medical. Do you intend to meet with him that day, just in general, kind of what his?
Speaking with Will last night, he's still putting together the itinerary, but he has confirmed that Odell will be here Wednesday or be here Monday.
Would you like to meet with him?
Oh, I think I'll definitely have an opportunity to meet with him. Yeah.
And obviously, you'd like to get a deal done as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything. I mean, there's some steps we have to go through, and it's just like any situation in this league. It takes two. It takes two to get the right deal done, and hopefully everything comes together.
Considering the recruiting or whatever you want to call it that you guys have done, would be disappointed if you don't end up getting.
Well, I've actually taken 2 more questions than I should on this topic, but yeah, I think we've been very forthright with how we feel about Odell coming to Dallas. So I just think it's time for us all to get in front of each other.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.